Spider-Man 2 in movie theaters now. We here at Reviews and Review love reviews, but I got no love for previews. Get that shit out of my face. It's the week of May 18th, 2014, and let's review some reviews. Let's start off by going over a couple of reviews from last week that we didn't get a chance to cover yet. First off is the recently localized JOJO'S Bizarre Adventure All-Star Battle for the PS3. Brittany Vincent said the game was faithful to the JOJO'S franchise, but had some significant problems, including the online play. She gave it a 7.5 out of 10. Also from last week is Kero Blaster, the 2D shooter platformer from the creator of Cave Story. Jonathan Holmes reviewed it very positively, saying, quote, "If Cave Story was Amaya's answer to Super Metroid, Kero Blaster is his Mega Man X. It's dense and perfectly paced, just begging to be replayed over and over." He gave it a 9 out of 10. Alright, it's time to move on to this week, and first up is the 3DS title Moon Chronicles, Episode 1. Kyle McGregor reviewed this 3DS remake of the well-received DS title Moon. Unfortunately, this isn't a game about flashing your butt at strangers in 3D, but rather a first-person shooter with puzzle elements set on Earth's moon. Kyle thought the game was pretty bland, writing that there wasn't anything original or well done enough to make the game worth picking up. You know what they say, shoot for the moon, even if you miss, your game will end up in the bargain bin in a few weeks. Kyle gave Moon Chronicles, Episode 1, a 6 out of 10. Now on to one of the bigger releases of the week, it's Wolfenstein The New Order for the PS4. Chris Carter reviewed the game, which actually has a pretty neat premise for a Wolfenstein game. It takes place around present day, but America has already lost the war and surrendered to the Nazis. Thanks, Obama. Chris thought that the game was a pretty solid FPS, but not much more than that, saying, quote, "In many ways, Wolfenstein The New Order is first-person shooters, the game, but it gets many of the important details right." Chris gave Wolfenstein The New Order a 7.5 out of 10, which brings me to the Detoid comment of the week. Quote, "I did not see a 7.5 coming. I figured this would at least get a 9. Thanks for the valuable insight, Captain America." The third game reviewed this week is Drakengard 3 for PS3. Chris also reviewed this game, saying that it had similar stylishness to that of a Devil May Cry game, and uses its story in a way like Nier to tug at the heartstrings. Good thing it doesn't have the story of a Devil May Cry game and the style of Nier, or else that would probably be the worst game ever made. Chris liked Drakengard, citing, quote, "Drakengard 3 is a bit unconventional at times, like its developer, with tales of extreme haircutting and dragon piss. Sold!" Chris gave Drakengard 3 an 8.5 out of 10. Next up is the other highly anticipated review from this week, Transistor for the PC. Alistair Duncan reviewed the game, the next from Supergiant, creators of Bastion, and thought it was pretty cool. The bad news is he points out that Transistor is actually more similar to Bastion than it may appear, even though it's in a completely new setting with different characters. The good news is that Bastion was a really good game. Alistair doesn't think it's a total copy, however, pointing out that the combat has a fresh new mechanic that's pretty well done. This, coupled with the great art, music, and voice acting from Logan Cunningham, make this a pretty solid package. Alistair gave Transistor an 8.5 out of 10. Finally, we have a review from someone never featured on this show before, me. I reviewed RType Dimensions for the PS3. RType Dimensions is a port of the Xbox 360 version of the same name, which featured a collection of RType 1 and 2 with optional updated art and music. I really liked it, even though I felt that the new art wasn't exactly great, saying, quote, "The fact that this art doesn't detract from the original games at all, so you can still play the core games. For $10, this is a great value." Oh, what's that? You know what that sound means, everyone. It's time for our favorite weekly segment of the show, the #1 best review done on Destructoid.com this week award. And you know what? It goes to me for RType Dimensions. What an honor. I, Ben Pack, give RType Dimensions a 9 out of 10. This week in games was good, but it had potential to be great and just barely fell short. That's why I'm giving this week, May 18th, 2014, 7 out of 10 college football players who didn't make the NFL and then still tell everyone in the bar about their glory days. Thanks, and read all the reviews on Destructoid and the internet.
Fed up with the hassle of selling your games online? Well, stop doing it that way then! Introducing Glide, the easiest way to transform those smelly old games you don't want anymore into hot, sexy piles of cash. After creating a free account, just click Sell on the Glide website, find your item, describe its condition, and name your price. That's all it takes to list it. No description writing or picture taking necessary. Yeah. Once your item sells, Glide will send you a shipping kit with everything you need to get your old game to its new owner. Everything's pre-addressed, prepaid, insured, and tracked the whole way, so all you have to do is put it in the mail. Once your buyer receives the shipment, payment will be deposited into your Glide account. Use the cash to shop on Glide, have it transferred to your bank account, get a check mailed to you, or even be paid in Bitcoin. Even if you're not looking to sell, Glide's got a great selection of pre-owned games, phones, tablets, and iPods for stupidly reasonable prices. Sign up today, head to detoid.tv/Glide. It's a great service, and every sign-up helps support Destructoid.
I can climb a tree, I can climb in the sky, I can reach up high. It's Reviews and Review. Am I pretty now, Dad?